So we were. The Ledger book was closed on Heath, and he was turned into the father of the year because he pushed a baby carriage around Brooklyn Heights for 4 minutes. Didn't marry the woman, of course. He was such a great father, he didn't marry the woman. But wow, how cool can you get? Ooh, Brooklyn Heights, bedding down in Brooklyn Heights, pushing a baby carriage. Great neighbor. Great neighbor. He was a wonderful man. Now, of course, the reason he was glorified is because he glorified the bisexual way of life in bareback mounting, as you well know. And as a result of that, the government media complex, which is filled with such metrosexuals, is in love with this man and his legacy. His legacy is greater than that of George Washington and Abraham Lincoln put together. I'm surprised there's not a move afoot to create Ledger Day. Ledger Day instead of Washington and Lincoln's birthday. At least we should name a holiday for him somehow. After all, he was great at portraying the life of a bisexual cowboy. What could be better for advancing the agenda than that? Naked, bed, pills, 6 prescriptions. See, they're all fake. Don't you understand actor means fake? 6 pills the guy needed to get through a day? Sleeping pills, anti-anxiety pills, pills to treat insomnia, anxiety, antihistamine. The guy was a wreck. He was a wreck. What else do I have for you? There's a lot of stuff. I don't want to read it. How come the president, 100 congressmen have sent George Bush a letter demanding the release of the 2 Border Patrol agents who went after a Mexican drug dealer, shot him in the behind. Bush put him away for 11 years with the cooperation of a corrupt U.S. attorney in Texas who's somehow involved in something much bigger than this. So 100 congressmen, Democrats, Republicans, say, wait a minute, this is a miscarriage of justice. Let the border agents go. Bush gives them the middle finger. How is this possible? You call this a democracy or a republic? Are you crazy? It's a dictatorship of a maniac. Adam, W.R., you think I'm off the beam here?
Hi, Dr. Savage. How you doing? It's Adam. Sorry,
Adam, do you think I'm wrong in saying that Bush is losing it?
No, you know, he is. I voted for him, and I give him a C as a grade for president. That's being nice. And I still think he's better than the Democrats who just seem to, talk about our, that like 9/11 never happened, which is insane. But I'm not happy with Bush. I'm even less happy with the Democrats. And what I see here, I'm Jewish. I was once born a red diaper doper baby. I started coming of age when I was a teenager. I got 13 years of military service. In fact, I'm actually down here at Fort Gordon in WTAZ territory of Augusta. That's where I'm calling you from. I was there for a few weeks. Anyway,
right.
What I see
a Jewish red diaper doper baby in the U.S. military. You're an anomaly.
Yeah, I know. I was born that way. Jewish liberal parents. I said, Mom and Dad, I ended up joining the Navy after high school. They went nuts. Why would a nice Jewish, red diaper doper baby Jewish boy join the Navy after high school? That's what I did.
What they want you to do? What they expect you to do? Become an accountant?
No, forget. I do computer work in my civilian life. New York City area. I got a wife, few kids.
All right. So what's the point of the call then? Okay, we know that you voted for Bush as I did, and we were deceived by the rogue. Now what?
Well, what I see, Michael, is this great evil, the Satan, so to say, that was disguised as a Nazi party in Nazi Germany in 1930s, fooling people and thinking, just love your country, be bigoted to the nth degree, it's okay to be intolerant to the nth degree. I think that this great evil is back as in a disguise that's 180 degrees opposite. Sorry about that.
Yes, in other words, you're saying liberalism is the new form of fascism. But I wrote liberalism is a mental disorder, which is a phrase, by the way, that went around the world that will be remembered for a very long time. It is a truth that liberals find very hard to bear because they know it's a truth that stabs them deep in their soul, because they know that there's some truth to it. Do you know that liberalism as a mental disorder was banned in Europe because it's considered offensive to European liberals? Do you know it's banned in Europe, that book?
I would not doubt it, Michael, because liberalism is the new intolerance, but it's cleverly disguised as tolerance. Because my family who are liberals and people who are liberals in New York City, I'm surrounded by blue state people where I work in my civilian job.
They're the most intolerant snot-noses you've ever met on the planet.
I'm sorry, Mark, what was that?
I said they're the most intolerant people you will ever meet, are the so-called tolerant police, the liberals. Are they tolerant of evangelical Christians, for example?
Yeah. I mean, I tell my liberal Jewish friends, why would you vote for Obama, this man who gets advice from this big anti-Israeli minister? And yet you would vote against Huckabee, who visited Israel 9 times. And it's just, it's upside down.
Well, that's an easy one. That's called white liberal guilt. That's so easy. That's liberalism 101.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike.
That's just white liberal guilt. They figure that even if they have to give up a portion of their wealth, it'll be somehow good for their guilt quotient, the GQ quarterly.
And this is.
I once went to a community center when the kids were young, to a swimming pool, and you get to know the people, you hang around, blah blah blah. So there was a woman there, and we were talking about affirmative action. This had to be 25 years ago, and she was for it, and I was against it because it had wrecked my life. And I said to her, "Would you?" Her daughter was about 8 years old. I said, "Look me in the eye." I said, "Look me in the eye, lady." I said, "Would you give up your daughter's entry to college for a minority who has lower grades? When your daughter's turn comes to enter college," I said, "you've killed yourself. You've given everything you could. The girl has a 3.8, I have a 4.0. Would you rather see her place taken by a minority with a 2.0 average?" You know what she said? She looked at me, stared in my eyes, blinked, and said yes. Do you understand what I just said to you, Adam?
It's insane. It's upside down logic, and I can't stand it.
There's no logic. It's called insanity. That was that was a real revelation for me. But the same thing happened with a girl named Amy Beal, who virtually everybody has forgotten. Nice-looking, white blonde girl, came from a nice, liberal Christian family in America. They had raised her on liberalism. They had fed her on liberalism, just as you're a red diaper dover baby of Jewish ancestry. She was an RDDB of Christian ancestry, to show you that it's not limited to an ethnic group. She went to Africa to help the poor black people. She was riding in a car in South Africa some 20 years ago with black friends. The car was surrounded by a group of black people who stoned her to death. The black friends ran out and said, no, don't kill her. She's one of us. She's here for us. They pushed the black people aside and they killed her with rocks. They stoned her. They bashed her body in. Now, that's the beginning of the horror. You want to hear the end of the horror? The parents went to Africa and forgave the black people who killed their own daughter. Now, what does that story tell you, Adam?
It's insane, Michael, and I think the country's going to get ruined. I mean, really, like an atom bomb is going to explode here.
But an atom bomb has hit the social fabric. An atom bomb has torn through the fabric as sure as I'm sitting here. An atomic bomb has ripped through the social fabric of this country. I don't know how much further it can rip. We're sitting here in the fallout of that atomic bomb. Here's another story for you. I'll give you an example. Here's one. I'm going to just read you the headline from the so-called Seattle Post-Intelligencer, which, of course, is an oxymoron. Blood bank bias alleged against gay bisexual men. Would-be donors say they're barred despite emergency. So, in other words, the gays are not happy enough with all of the freedoms that they have demanded and gotten, but now they want to move past rationality. And although gays and bisexual men are banned from giving blood, they're now saying, that makes no sense scientifically. We want to be able to give blood. And you have to take my blood. Do you understand the madness of this? That has nothing to do with science. It has to do with advancing the gay agenda, for example?
Yes. Yes,
okay.
Michael.
Now, okay, you see what I'm talking about? Same thing with global warming. Do you think that George Bush really understands global warming? Do you think the man is capable of it? Do you think that the policymakers truly understand what global warming is, what might be causing it, that it could be a result of volcanic activity, it could be a result more likely of sunspots, and that even if there is an uptick in global warming, which there is by about 0.5 degree over 100 years, which is virtually insignificant, and that although Al Gore, the alarmist liar, propagandist Goebbels from Hitlerian times, tells us that the Arctic ice cap is melting, does he also tell you that the Antarctic ice pack is thicker than it has ever been in recorded history? Did you know that, Adam?
No, I wasn't aware of
it. No. Why haven't the newspapers said that although Al Gore claims the Arctic is melting, we should tell you that the Antarctic ice shelf is thicker than it has ever